Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This time it's all with the kids. Get your little ones to follow this recipe and see the magic how they create this super easy to follow Christmas cookies. So if you want to learn how to make them, then just keep watching. This time we are not using any bowl or whisk or even a spatula. We're simply going to use a baking mat, which comes in handy to help clean up after. Now taking the dry ingredients into the whisk, that is the all-purpose flour, to which we will add the spices, that is the ginger, the nutmeg, clove, and cinnamon powder. All of this will go into the sieve along with the flour, and to make the cookies crisp, we will add the baking soda. The next ingredient we will add is the brown sugar. We want the sugar to melt easily into the cookies, for which we will grind it to a fine powder. This will go into the sieve as well. Perfect for beginners, this recipe is extremely simple and you'll see how it will all come together effortlessly in the next few minutes. Now using a bent scraper, I'm simply going to gather the flour and make a well in the center for our next ingredient. Taking the unsalted butter, but this time it's the refrigerated cold butter. And as I mentioned earlier, we won't be using any fancy tools, but just a fork to break down the cubes of butter into the flour. Gently press and blend until the mixture resembles coarse bread crumbs. This step is key to creating the perfect crumbly texture. Now, once again making a shallow well in the center, we will take our next ingredient, the liquid jaggery. This is a better substitute for molasses. You can make your own using powder jaggery. I shall leave the recipe for this in the description box below. So, to mention the purpose of the molasses or the dark jaggery liquid is that it gives a distinct color and provides a chewy texture and almost burnt-like sugar flavor that characterizes these cookies. And lastly, we will add some cold water to bind the dough without having to melt the butter, and therefore maintaining the texture. Finally, gently use your hands to bring it all together to form it into one big ball of dough. But do not over-knead it. It should turn out to be a soft, pliable dough. This is the texture we are looking for. Finally, form it into a disc shape and wrap it into a cling wrap to refrigerate. This helps to develop the color and flavor from the aromatic spices. We will now prepare for the next step, taking the butter paper. Once the dough is refrigerated, it is now ready to roll out. Dust some dry flour onto the parchment paper. This helps to roll the dough without having to worry about sticking. Now, although the dough may look hard to roll, but be gentle to use the rolling pin. And as we roll, we start from the center and roll to the outside of each corner. This helps to shape it into a rectangle. Now here's a trick of getting the perfect thickness of the dough all around. Take 2 even-sized towels with the same thickness and place them on either side of the dough. And this way, when you roll the dough, you will get an even thickness all through without having to worry about rolling it too thin and starting all over again. Just the thickness we are looking for. Now comes the fun part. Time to get the cookie cutters out and get creative. We will take some dry flour to dust our cookie cutters with it to help ease out the cutting. In case you're looking for these cookie cutters, do check out the link in the description box below. But you can always make it your own by giving it a unique shape. And I think the kids are the best to do that, don't you think? Do let me know how it turned out for you. You can get up to 17 such cookies from this batch, but it all depends on the size of the cookie cutter. Now, once again, using the bench scraper, it helps to easily lift the cookies without falling apart. These will go onto the tray lined with the parchment paper. Similarly, place the rest of the cookies on the tray, giving them enough room to bake evenly. Once again, taking the leftover dough, we will repeat the same by dusting very little dry flour and using the towels to speed up the process. The best part about this dough is that if you don't want to use the leftover dough, you can always freeze it for until you need it the next time. That way they can be served freshly baked each time. Notice here that even using the smallest dough, it gives us the perfect thickness each time when we use the towels. This dough will go into the preheated oven, and you will find them baked until you see a slight browning on the edges. These look perfectly baked, and the aroma of the spices from the freshly baked cookies fill your room with so much warmth. Now, while the cookies are cooling, we shall prepare the icing. Take the finest ground icing sugar along with a tablespoon of cold milk. I would like to suggest here that the store-bought icing sugar are better used for this recipe, as it has the finest ground sugar, which helps to pipe out the beautiful icing. Now, once you're done mixing, when you drop a drizzle, you should be able to see it on the surface up to a count of 10 seconds. Now that's ready. Once the cookies have cooled down, they are now ready to be decorated. A quick tip here: the trick to having a steady hand while you're decorating the cookies is to have your elbow rested on the tabletop while moving your hand as if hovering over the cookie. This will help guide the icing as it drizzles on the cookie. In case you can't get it right the first time, you can always wipe out the icing and redo the decoration. I feel it's best to have the kids enjoy it in their own way. And I'm sure they can make a masterpiece out of it. Do let me know what your little one has done. And there you have it, beautifully decorated aromatic gingerbread cookies. Hope you like this recipe. Let me know what you think. Perfect for kids to enjoy with their milk too, or make it for your loved ones as a gift hamper this festive season. Time to see the cookies how they've turned out on the inside. Crisp on the outside and ever so tender on the inside. Perfect. Now, before you go, here's a little peek of what I had made from using leftover scrap boxes. This can be a cute little activity for kids to have as a display for all your cookies. And if you do have any doubts regarding this recipe or even the icing, do let me know in the comments below. I'll surely help you out. Or if at all you want me to do a live streaming, I can do that too, and we can learn together. So surely let me know in the comments below. And this recipe is the easiest I've got for gingerbread cookies. So do get your little ones along and get them baking. Let me know how they turn out. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.